A statement is made by Daystar Executive. It is a revelation from behind the scenes that is unsettling the world of faith-based organizations. In the sparkling world of televangelism, where clean studios and charismatic hosts offer powerful sermons to millions of viewers, very few people take the time to inquire about the tales that are unfolding behind the camera. Over the course of many years, Daystar Television Network, which is among the most prominent Christian broadcasters in the world, has been a shining example of ministry that is both transforming and spiritually inspiring. However, beneath the polished surface of its global outreach lies a whirlwind of controversy, secrets, and disclosures that have just recently come to the attention of the general public. The hush that had been maintained on items that had been strictly guarded has been broken by an executive from Daystar who has not been identified. Many listeners and supporters of Christian television are struggling with a mixture of incredulity and betrayal as a result of these revelations, which have sent shockwaves across the Christian broadcasting community. Remarks made by the executive, which were described in detail in an open interview, portray a complicated picture of the personal difficulties, ethical conundrums, and obstacles that one of the most renowned names in Christian media is currently facing. This executive's decision to speak up was driven by what? What are the hidden truths that lie beneath the surface of faith? And what are the implications of these disclosures for the millions of people who tune in to Daystar every day in search of guidance and hope? Let's go into the intricacies of this interesting story and investigate the layers of truth that have surfaced, so altering the narrative that surrounds this significant network. In 1997, Marcus and Joni Lamb established Daystar Television Network, which swiftly rose to prominence as a leader in Christian broadcasting. Daystar is a media behemoth that was built on faith, and it is the heritage of Daystar. As part of its purpose to disseminate the gospel all over the world, Daystar provided a platform that was available around the clock for live events, chat shows, music programs, and sermons, and it featured some of the most well-known figures in the Christian community. From Joel Osteen to Joyce Meyer to T.D. Jakes, the list goes on. The name of the network evolved to be synonymous with the provision of high-quality Christian material and spiritual enrichment. Over 200 nations were included in Daystar's reach, and the programming was made available in a number of different languages. Through the production of shows that connected with millions of people, its state-of-the-art studios in Texas became a hub for faith-driven media organizations. On the other hand, as the network expanded, the pressures to preserve its impeccable reputation also increased, which is a duty that. There were concessions and judgments that were questionable that were made behind closed doors, according to the executive who blew the whistle. The reason why the executive decided to speak is because a whisper turned into a roar. There was a lot of thought that went into the choice to speak up. Over the course of several years, the executive, whose identity is being concealed for reasons of safety, detailed the experiences of struggling with ethical issues and psychological difficulties. In the interview, the executive stated that the reason he joined Daystar was because he believed in the organization's objective. But as time goes on, I began to become aware of things that caused me a great deal of distress. Things that I was unable to reconcile with the principles that we profess to have. According to reports, the breaking point occurred after a string of mishaps that included misuse of financial resources, allegations of misconduct in the workplace, and a lack of transparency in donor connections. The executive stated, "I came to the realization that going on without speaking was no longer an option. The truth should be made known to the people, particularly those who have put a significant amount of time and resources into this network." Under the microscope, financial transparency is being examined. The financial practices of the network have been revealed to be one of the most critical pieces of information. In the same way as many other faith-based organizations operate, Daystar is highly dependent on donations from viewers in order to fund its operations. There are millions of dollars that are contributed annually by supporters, who are frequently inspired by sincere appeals and assurances that their money would be used to fund evangelistic efforts, disaster relief programs, and community outreach initiatives. The whistleblower, on the other hand, claimed that there were inconsistencies in the distribution of these money. The executive asserted that there was a glaring absence of accountability. Donors were given the impression that their contributions were being allocated directly to the causes that they had chosen. However, in actuality, a sizable part was rerouted to meet operational expenditures or other expenses that were not disclosed during the process. These charges recall previous criticisms that Daystar has been subjected to. The network was subjected to examination in 2021 due to the fact that it had purchased a private jet with funding from the federal COVID-19 relief program, a decision that has caused widespread criticism and calls for increased accountability. Despite the fact that Daystar defended the purchase by stating that the jet was necessary for ministry travel, the episode brought to light broader concerns over the organization's lack of financial transparency. An additional area of concern that was brought up by the executive was the culture of the workplace at Daystar. An workplace that has been regarded as toxic by a number of former employees lies behind the uplifting words that have been aired to millions of people. One of the individuals who blew the whistle described occasions in which those in positions of authority were subjected to favoritism, intimidation, and a lack of responsibility. Executives acknowledged that there was a culture of silence in the organization. If you voiced concerns or questioned decisions, you were cut off from the conversation almost immediately, because they were aware that speaking up could result in their losing their employment, or even worse, people were afraid to do so. The reputations they have earned. In response to these allegations, a more extensive discussion regarding the treatment of employees working for faith-based groups has been initiated. Despite the fact that Daystar has not officially addressed the allegations made by the whistleblower, former employees have provided evidence that supports some of the allegations. These employees have described a workplace environment in which loyalty was frequently prized over skill or ethics. Both Marcus and Joni Lamb have experienced a personal toll. The Lamb family, often referred to as the faces of Daystar, has been through its fair share of public and private difficulties. A powerful leader who was known for his impassioned preaching and steadfast commitment to the network's objective, Marcus Lamb passed away in November 2021 due to complications from COVID-19. He was noted for his involvement in the network. Following his passing, the company had a big void, which resulted in Joni Lamb assuming a leadership position that was even more prominent than before. Following Marcus's passing, Daystar has had a difficult time preserving its cohesiveness and maintaining its concentration. Based on the facts made by the whistleblower, it appears that the internal strife and leadership issues have only become more severe since he has been absent. A fight for dominance has allegedly taken place, according to the executive. When Marcus is not present, the organization struggles to find its bearings at times. Despite the fact that Joni Lamb has not wavered in her commitment to upholding Daystar's purpose, the weight of recent events has taken a visible toll on her. Her public appearances have been marked by grace and determination as she has responded to the criticisms leveled at the network, yet the increasing amount of pressure has led to concerns over the long-term future of Daystar. How did you react? Both supporters and critics have plenty to say. The statements made by the executive have sparked a raging controversy among Daystar's enormous fan base. Daystar has had a profoundly transformational effect on the Lamb family's spiritual journeys, and supporters of the network have come together to show their support for the Lamb family. As one user noted on social media, "This network has completely altered the course of my life. I am not going to believe these allegations because there is no evidence to support them." Critics, on the other hand, have argued that the discoveries bring to light systemic problems within Christian media and have advocated for increased transparency and responsibility. Organizations that are based on religious beliefs ought to hold themselves to a higher level. One of the critics made the following observation: "If these allegations are true, it is a betrayal of everything that Daystar claims to stand for going forward. A request for openness and revitalization is being made." And significant discussion regarding the intersection of faith has been sparked as a result of the decision of the whistleblower to speak up. Accountability in the media. Daystar's foundation has clearly been shaken as a result of the revelations. Nevertheless, these revelations also present a chance for introspection and revitalization. For those who are in favor of the network, the way forward might involve advocating for increased transparency and cultivating a culture of accountability inside Daystar. This particular moment serves as a reminder to the larger Christian community of the significance of ensuring that one's actions are in accordance with one's principles. There is a story that is still being told both on and off the screen. After the dust has settled, it is still unclear how the allegations made by the whistleblower will affect the situation. Will Daystar emerge more powerful as a result of its decision to tackle its difficulties head-on, or will the weight of these claims cause the audience's faith and support to erode? What is certain is one thing: the discussion that was generated by the choice of this executive to speak up is not even close to being finished. For the audience, employees and leaders alike, this moment represents a crossroads, an opportunity to redefine what it means to serve God through media, with integrity, humility, and unshakable faith. This moment is a chance to transform the way we serve God. As the events of this drama continue to develop, the entire globe is watching, enthralled by a narrative that questions preconceived notions and sheds light on the complexity of faith-based broadcasting. Daystar will need to demonstrate bravery, honesty, and a dedication to the ideas that first inspired its goal in order to successfully navigate the trip that lies ahead.